Good evening, Yoli Nation. Happy New Year. We're going to get this Zoom call started right away. We've got a lot of people to hear from. Let me hear from you. Drop a comment below. Let me make sure we're in the right place. But my name's Corey Citrin, obviously. Many of you know me. Some of you are brand new. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer here and a Yoli co-founder, and it's really my pleasure to really officially kick off 2020. So again, Happy New Year. Welcome to our live broadcast tonight. We've got a lot of information we're going to be delivering over the next 20 to 30 minutes. So I'm going to talk quickly. Don't worry, you can go back and watch this and rewatch it. But, you know, I'm right here now in Salt Lake City. We arrived here last night. I'm actually at the beautiful Yoli House. If you've been to the Yoli House, drop a comment below. I know many of you have. And today we spent the day on Snowbird, doing a little bit of skiing and snowboarding. And it was so awesome because, as some of you know, been with us since the very beginning, we used to do a lot of leadership retreats at Snowbird. Back in the day, it was 5-star golds. We've come a long way. And, you know, as I reminisce about the last decade, I just think it's so amazing that we can now say that we've been in business for over a decade. That is pretty extraordinary. There are very few companies that ever make it this long, let alone impact the number of lives that we've been able to impact over the last decade. You know, when you think about it, there'll probably be 500 plus companies within the direct selling profession alone launch this year. By year 5, only 5 or so will be left. So give yourselves a big round of applause, a digital round of applause. Drop a comment below. It's a real incredible place to be here. But as you all know, myself and my partners on the TrueSum team, the complacency does not exist in our dictionary. And so we're going to share some things with you tonight, a new promotion that we're going to be launching, and a vision for 2020. Our vision is crystal clear. You know, this profession we love so much. We love this profession. It's given us so much. And we want to give back. That's why we continue to double and triple down. And one of the things that we love about this profession, obviously, the products and the physical transformations, but we love the leadership development. And if you're on this call, you're a part of this journey. And this really is a leadership program with a compensation plan attached to it. And we're so excited for you to join us here in the new year and lock arms. And one of the things that we launched in the last decade, it's kind of funny to say that, was our incredible Better Mind, Better Body program, the BMBB. And what an incredible program that's been. I've gone through it. My partners have gone through it. If you've gone through the BMBB yourself, drop a comment below. Let us hear what it's done for you, maybe what it's done for your friends or a family member, your teammates. And it's such a critical part of our program now. And I want you to understand that this is just the first version. This is the beta version. I also want you to understand that this platform has undergone a lot of testing. There's literally been not this beta program, but this program, this version of this program has literally been used by thousands of people over several years in our profession. And there's 3 things that I want you to understand that this is going to help you accomplish in your Yoli business, above and beyond the improvement, the self-development for yourself. Number 1 is designed and actually proven to increase the amount of products that people purchase along their 60-day version. It also increases retention, which is your best friend. It also increases the number of people who upgrade from a PC to a member, which is the natural progression of the Yoli journey. And so we're just getting started with this BMBB. We have some just incredible, mind-blowing things that we're going to be doing to actually enhance it. And so that's why we launched this promotion, is because we want to get it out there. We want people to experience it. We want people to experience what you experience in those 60 days. And that's why we did this promotion. It's free for everybody who comes in with a ticket. And on top of it, we're giving $50 in free Yoli cash when somebody completes it. Have we lost our minds? No. We just believe in it so much, and we believe in you so much, and the new people coming into Yoli, that we wanted to make it just so easy to engage with and to be able to utilize. So we're going to add one more thing into the mix, because at Yoli, we like to keep you on your feet and constantly surprise you. And again, we're investing heavily into this business. Why? Because we believe in the direction we're going. We believe in the direction you're going. So I'm excited to announce right now a brand new promotion that's launching on this Zoom call right now to add into the fire and throw more fuel on the flame. Is we're now going to add Yoli Cash additionally into the BNB promotion. So it's a separate promotion. You can learn all about it at the conclusion of this Zoom call at yoli.com, right there on the front page. But in addition to everything we're doing to help you launch into the new year with as much velocity as possible, is anytime somebody comes in with a transformation kit anywhere in the world, as you know, we're all across the world transforming lives, we're going to give you $30 in Yoli Cash in addition to everything else. When somebody comes on board with a share pack, we're going to give them $50 in Yoli Cash. And when you come on board with a party pack, it's $80 in additional Yoli Cash. And when you come on with a DEP, it's actually going to be $180 in Yoli Cash. That's convertible to any Yoli product. You can use it for yourself. You can use it to share with other people. You can use it for however you choose. But that's one additional promotion that we're gifting you and all of your new customers and members that come on board with at least a T-kit to help you launch into the new year. And you know, this new year, you're going to see some incredible things. You know, we did some remarkable things last year with Ignite and 10 for 10 and all that sort of stuff. And we're going to continue to surprise you and innovate. The products that we're going to launch, our vision in 2020 is 2020. We know exactly where we're going. It's crystal clear, and nothing can stop someone who has a clear vision and a conviction in where they're going. And we want you to join us in this journey. And so I share that with you because as great as the products and the things that are going to blow your mind in 2020, what is the best product that we can launch this year? What is the best product that you can launch this year? Drop a comment below. Let me hear from you. I would submit to you that the #1 product that you can launch this year is yourself. Because all this momentum and innovation and all this doubling and tripling down and massive investment we're making into Yoli will not do you any good unless you are in motion, unless you're creating a better version and evolving into the ultimate version of yourself, which is why we've created these Build to Become platform, these events that are going to be taking place in Los Angeles on the West Coast, in New York City towards the end of January. I'll be at both of those, by the way. And then, of course, capping it out in Iowa, just to close out this first quarter as strong as we possibly can. And so make sure that you take advantage of everything that we're sharing with you right now, because we want you to join us in 2020 on this next decade. We've done remarkable things in the first decade, but it's going to pale in comparison to what we're all going to accomplish collectively here in this decade right now. So whatever it is, tasting parties, promoting the promotions that we've launched previously and tonight, promoting the Build to Become events, get into massive action. My suggestion to you before I bring on our next speaker is to treat the next 90 days, and this is what I would do. This is me talking as a distributor. I'm a distributor at heart. What I would be doing is I would treat the next 90 days as a pre-launch. Because those people that are already in massive action are going to take advantage of all the momentum, everything that we're doing behind the scenes to take this to the next level. I don't want you to be caught flat-footed, because everything we're sharing with you and more is going to come true in the next 90 days, 120 days, in 2020. So I guarantee you, as sure as I'm standing before you here right now in the Yoli house, it's going to happen. So take advantage of it, get into massive momentum, treat these next 90 days, it's the pre-launch, like your life is dependent upon it, and I'm telling you, you're gonna be waving to the top of the mountain here with us like we were doing at Snowbird today. So that all being said, I have the pleasure of bringing on our next speaker. Speaking of mountains, it's a great segue there. The man that needs no introduction, the man that we all love, and he's one of, honestly, I'd have to say probably the most inspirational person I personally know, and that's just the God honest truth. And so I'm really delighted to be able to share with you live in person, Uncle D, Yoli co-founder, Darren Falter. Why don't you come on here, buddy?
Dude, you're the king of segues. I love that. He should be on the radio. Unbelievable.
Take care, everybody.
Unbelievable.
Love you. Happy New Year.
Hi, everybody. What a pleasure to be here. And I'm so excited to see everybody in the new year. I feel like I haven't seen everybody for gosh, a long time, and I can't wait to get out on the road again. I'm going to be there in New York City at the end of the month. So anybody out on the East Coast, I'm going to come see you. I wanted just to remind you of a message that I shared at conference. Those of you who remember my message at conference, I talked about the fact that I make things happen. I don't wait for things to happen. I don't wait for my ship to come in. I swim out to meet it. And so I gave a presentation talking about making things happen, and that's what we need to do here in 2020. In 1990, I started my first network marketing opportunity, and I failed. And in 91, I failed 2 times. Second and third opportunities, gone. 91, 4 and 5 failures. Number 6 came in 1993. I had a massive failure and practically a mental breakdown, which led me to my greatest success I'd ever experienced. In 1994, I joined a company, had tremendous success. That's where I met Robbie Fender on a cruise ship playing basketball. Had a huge long run of 4 great years, made a lot of income, developed myself as a person. But guess what? In 99, 98, another failure. 99, a failure. Huge failure in 2000, failure in 2001, failure in 2002, which led me to a huge win in 2003. My 13th opportunity was also a win. Lucky number 13. 2008, failure, and then led me to 2009. What was 2009? Yoli, my biggest success ever. That is 4-to-1 fail to success ratio. 4-to-1. And that's how it's been for me. You know, every time I've tried 4 different things, one worked. I think that some of us just aren't failing enough. We haven't started failing. How many times have you failed in 2020 so far? We used to play this game at home where we'd sit around the dinner table and we'd say, what did you fail at today, kids? I learned this from Darren Hardy. What'd you fail at? And they would tell me, you know, oh yeah, Dad, I didn't make the election for the student body. Oh, that's okay, good, you tried. And then we'd joke around with Adam all the time. He'd say something like, oh, well, I failed my math test. No, that's a true failure, son, you can't do that. But we joke around, but starting to fail, we got to start to fail. I remember a story that Mark Victor Hansen told me. He's the author of Chicken Soup for the Soul. And I had the privilege of going into his office one day, and he shared with me a story about the starting of Chicken Soup, which has gone on to become a New York Times record-breaking 100 million books sold in I don't know, hundreds of countries. And it started off as a major failure. No publisher would take him. And he was going bankrupt, and he was stressed, and his friends would always look at his face and say, are you sleeping, Mark? You got big bags under your eyes. He goes, yeah, I'm sleeping like a baby every night. I wake up every 2 hours and I cry. You got to realize that it takes a lot of failure to get to that success. He pushed through that failure for years and years, went on to become one of the best-selling authors. As a matter of fact, book companies, you know, like Barnes & Noble, would complain about the fact that he takes up so much shelf space. He goes, well, are the books selling? Yes, they are. Well, keep them on the shelf then, because he had like 20 different books. He had Chicken Soup for the dentist soul, Chicken Soup for the cheerleader soul, Chicken Soup for the dental hygienist soul. I mean, it got very specific after a while. I remember one of the most difficult things I ever learned in my life was learning the Japanese language, learning how to speak Japanese. And I was a total failure at it. I had my worst grades in high school in French class. And so I knew foreign language wasn't my thing. And so what I did was I kind of kept to myself. I didn't speak. I was too embarrassed. And I failed week after week. And I started feeling a tremendous amount of pressure. I felt like I'm here on this, I was on a mission for my church for 2 years. I thought, if I don't start speaking, I'm not going to have the opportunity to speak to anybody in Japanese. And so my fear outweighed my fear of failure outweighed my fear of opening my mouth. And so I finally started opening my mouth. I failed every day. I just made a fool of myself. And as soon as I threw out the fear of looking like a fool, I started progressing every week. And within 7 months, I was speaking broken but fluent Japanese, where I could actually speak on the telephone and set appointments and understand about 80%. So it's all about failure. It's also about getting in front of the right people. I remember a story about a headliner comedian in New York City. He goes to New York. His agent wasn't paying attention. He booked him for a crowd. He went out there with his best material. He had total confidence, and nobody laughed. Nobody laughed a single time. They just sat there and stared at him. Well, unfortunately, they had booked an Italian tour group. None of them spoke any English. It wasn't his fault, but it was his manager's fault. But The thing is, sometimes we're putting ourselves in front of the wrong people. You got to find the right audience if you want to succeed. Find the people who are eager and ready to transform their lives. You're also going to go through some tremendous adversity in the process. This has been one of the biggest adversity years for me. I had already have Parkinson's disease, which is very debilitating for your movements, but I had a rotator cuff surgery. Anybody out there ever had rotator cuff surgery? I'm going to raise my left hand because I can't raise my right arm right now because it's recovering. It's one of the most painful recoveries. And try to dress yourself when you have Parkinson's disease on your left hand and rotator cuff surgery on your right. I mean, I was a complete invalid for a number of months. And the thing is, pushing through that, I truly feel like the doctors tell me, based upon my recovery and my strength and what I've been able to push through so far, my right arm is actually going to be stronger than it was previous, and I'll be able to do even more when I get through it. So you're going to go through the adversity. You need to be able to take it on the chin and walk through it. It's not about avoiding adversity. It's about taking it and learning and becoming the person that God chose you to be by becoming the person through adversity that he will make you through that process. Take action before you're ready. Be vulnerable. Remember that 20 seconds of courage, you know, that movie? So he's talking to his son about girls, and he says, just 20 seconds of courage. That's all it takes. Sometimes just 20 seconds of courage and great things will happen. Remember to take the 20 seconds. Folks, I am so excited about this year. This is the year for leaders to emerge. This is your year, 2020. It just sounds beautiful. And I can't wait to come out and help you build the business. I'm committed to your success. I know you're committed to yours. And we're going to have another incredible speaker up here next who's going to share some of his thoughts and feelings. He's actually remote today. We used to call him the preacher when we first started in Yoli because he tends to turn to the verse of scripture. And we also have called him the Chief Product Officer. He has a huge multi-million-dollar staffing and business in addition to Yoli, so he's a very experienced entrepreneur, so we called him the entrepreneur. I'm going to give him a new name tonight. I'm going to call him the prophet because he's one who sees into the future, and also he knows how to turn a profit. And that's Mr. Bobby Jones, co-founder, one of my good friends. Bobby Jones, are you out there? Can we switch over to Bobby's camera? Are you here, Bobby?
Gary. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right. They may have to switch it over. I'm not sure if you can see me yet. Get our technical support people in here.
Here we go.
All right. You guys let me know when we're good here.
You're on.
All right. Well, hello, Yoli Nation. Thank you, Uncle D. You're always filled with so much wisdom and charm, and we love having you on the team here. Life wouldn't be the same without you, brother. And out to Corey Citron, all the founders out there. Happy New Year's to everybody. It's an exciting year, guys. Corey said, hey, Bobby, where's your paintings on the wall? You know, you're an artist, you know, give us a background there. Well, you know what, guys? 2020 is a blank slate. I've got some remodeling going on here. We're doing some new things this year. We're creating some new works of art. And here at Yoli, you know, we're doing some incredible things. 10 for 10 was just the beginning. You know, we just hooked and locked arms with the Trusum team, and we decided to do some incredible things, but that was just the beginning. You know, we didn't have a lot of time, and so over these last few months and where we're headed into 2020 is really where the rubber meets the road. So we're super excited about some of the things that are coming down the pipe. You're going to learn a little bit tonight, and then over the next few months, I mean, things are really going to start to ramp up here. So I'm going to spend just a minute here and get just a little bit deep with you. And then I'm going to give you a little quick story of something that I recently went through that I think will really help you guys going into 2020 right here. I was recently reading a book, and I'm going to refer to a couple notes here by a guy named Yuval Harari, and he wrote a book called Homo Deus. And really interesting, some of the points that he brought up in this book that, you know, for the first time in history, we have more people dying from eating too much than eating too little. We have more people dying from old age than dying from infectious diseases. And more people, this is a very sad one, commit suicide than are killed by soldiers, terrorists, criminals combined. You know, this is a new year or a new decade, an era that we're living in where they say that human beings are far more likely to die from regular binge eating at McDonald's than through drought, Ebola, or some sort of attack. I mean, that is some crazy, crazy stuff. Some quick stats to bring this home. And the reason that I bring this up is because Yoli, you know, it's more than just products. You know, it's really a mission to help people change their lives. And, you know, reading some of these stats, just, you know, it was staggering to me, and it really gave me a bigger sense of purpose for what we're doing here at Yoli. You know, a couple of stats, a little bit staggering. In 2016, about 56 million people died throughout the world. 620,000 of them died from violence. That's about 120,000 in war. A lot of people just from crime. And now contrast this, guys, about 700,000 people committed suicide, and about 1.6 million people died of diabetes. Okay, so in the book, he made a comment that sugar is now more dangerous than gunpowder. You know, think about that. It's absolutely staggering. So, you know, here at Yoli, we have a mission. You know, we're out here changing lives by educating people, giving them products, and giving them mindset development programs that are helping people on all levels overcome the challenges that they're having in life. So we're making a huge impact, but we know that we've got a lot more work to do. And quick story, at the end of last year, you know, we all look, hey, Yoli founders, building companies, you know, being in relationships, having family life, raising kids, all of this stuff. It's challenging. It takes work, right? There's just a lot that we all have to put in each and every day to really living our best life. And so last year, as I was studying and working with some different mentors, we got on the subject of obstacles. And, you know, the dictionary defines obstacles as anything that blocks one's way or prevents or hinders progress, right? So if anything is sort of blocking from where you want to be to where you want to go, it's an obstacle, right? But a lot of people in life have kind of decided to avoid obstacles and, you know, find the shortcuts to eating, maybe your eating habits, because it's going to take a little longer to eat healthy. Maybe it's a little bit bigger challenge to go to the gym than just to relax and take it easy. But yet it's the other side of those obstacles where we really find our purpose and success in life, right? So at the end of 2019, after going through a program on obstacles, I decided to do a Spartan race. Now, of course, these Spartan races are going to push your body to the limit. You're going to challenge yourself in some areas that, you know, let's face it, you know, mentally, there's some fears going into it. You know, am I going to be able to accomplish this? Am I going to be able to overcome this obstacle? And so going into it, there was a lot of meditation training that I went through that was kind of cool because it's all about, you know, getting your mindset right. And one of the cool things that we did was some breathing exercises and meditation. And we did OMS, right? You breathe in, OM, right? And we love acronyms here at Yoli. And so there was an acronym that we came up with for OMS, OMMS. And that acronym was this: obstacles make me stronger. So guys, listen, 2020 is here. There's some things in your life right now that you may see as obstacles, but here's the reality. If you start moving towards your obstacles and you go through those obstacles, that's what the Spartan race was about for me. It was about doing some challenges that I knew there was some fear, there were some scary parts about going through it, and making myself do it so that at the end of that, I look back and you're like, wow, some of these things that I thought were going to be so hard, I actually did really well at. And some of the things that I didn't, well, guess what? Now I know what I need to work on to move forward into this next year. And I can tell you this, after going through the Spartan race, so many of the challenges that I had around me in my life started looking really small. So as we move into 2020, as Yoli starts overcoming obstacles, as you start overcoming obstacles in your own life, we're going to be here supporting you. We've got a great family here at Yoli, and we want you to have your best year ever. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to turn it over to our next speaker this evening, who is someone that has come into the Yoli forefront here over the last few months, and everyone has just kind of gone crazy because they were just excited to see someone step out from behind the scenes and overcome her own challenges and obstacles to start being a leader and a face here at Yoli. So at this time, let me turn it over to none other than the one and only Kimmy Fender.
Oh my goodness. Can you guys see me? I don't know how this works. I've never done this before, but hopefully you do. Happy New Year. Happy 2020. I'm still coming out of my box, you guys, and I am sweating. You guys all know how that works. Let me go into a year ago when I decided to make a change for me. I've told you before, I was stuck. I was lost, especially when Dylan got out of school and moved to New York. And then I worked in events and I didn't do it anymore. So I was lost. And so no matter what Robbie tried to do for me, it wasn't helping. So I finally well, actually it was December 2018, I decided to finally do something for me. And Robbie and I started going to personal development events. And that really seemed to help. But the most important thing I learned, I did quite a few events, even by myself. I started going by myself. So the most important thing I learned from each event was that no one can change me but me. And so I've really tried grasping that. And so I write it down all the time. I tell myself all the time I can do this. So every once in a while I'll step out of my box. Right now I'm doing accountability partners with my sister, my cousin, and we always talk about how much we moved that day and how much we walked and how much water we drank and you know how we're doing, and we're all doing something different, but we're all using each of us as an accountability partner, and it's been really, really good. The most scariest, challenging, rewarding thing to do is to step out of your comfort zone. And it doesn't come easy. It doesn't come easy. Like right now, 2020, yeah, I've only done this a couple months. I've only been up on stage a couple times. Last year was my first time, and they keep wanting me, Kim, you got 5 minutes, you got 10 minutes. It's like, okay. And then by the time I'm done talking, I noticed I'm running out of time. So you can do it. You can get out of the box. Just don't look at the clock is what I'm learning. Yoli's going through changes. The leaders are going through changes. I'm learning along the way, not everyone's good with change, but it's how we grow. And it's not just for the company, it's for ourselves. And if we don't change, we're never gonna get out of our comfort zone. So my challenge was the BMBB, and I started that last year. My dog is telling me he's hungry. It's been the most amazing thing doing this BMBB. Not only for me, but for people around me. I've gave it to my friends, I gave it to my family. And not only is it an amazing tool to learn about you, but it teaches you how to work with others, how to accept others. It works on your actions, your responses, your attitude, your feelings. And I'm trying to think of the best way to say it, but it's a freeing feeling to know that there's so much more out there. You just got to work on yourselves. And that's what the BMBB has done. And I believe with it having the BMB with our company and now offering it to everybody. I mean, not just people in our company, but your friends, your family, and people who are just now coming on board, people who are struggling with their weight. They need to learn the emotional side of it. And that's exactly what the BMBB does, is helps you with that. I just can't stress it enough. I'm actually just started doing it again because there's things that I'm on day 7. So there's things that I missed the first time already in day 7. So I'm more diligent than I was the time before, and I may end up doing it a 3rd time just to keep going with it. Creating habits. That's the most important thing you need to do, is to create the habits to focus for yourself, for goals you want to do, to find your why, your purpose for your goals. What you focus on, you find. What you focus on grows. What you focus on seems real. And what you focus on, you become. And I'm really, really learning that. And whoever takes it, I can't stress enough that it will help you too. Yoli has so much to offer anybody and everybody, and not just the systems and the weight loss, but it's emotional. It's the BMBB, it's the Amplify, and we're only going to have so much more coming for you to help you. We are really just getting started, and with a new year coming and everything, I'm really excited. 2019, we put all of our time and effort putting all the pieces together. And 2020, we're putting everything into action because we're really doing everything for you. And it's for you to be the best for you and for your business. And I can't stress enough how excited I am that we're all growing together. So I just want to thank you for listening to me, watch me fumble, watch me sweat, yell at my dog, whatever. I just want to thank you. And it's my turn to get to have the next speaker come on. And Robbie, where are you? And I'm left here by myself with everybody, without anybody. Great. Robbie! I'm so sorry. I told them they had to leave the room, and they seriously, literally, everybody left the room. And I'm up here by myself. Oh, there he is. I am so excited to have you get to see this last speaker, because I have to say I love him with all my heart. I've loved him for over 30 years, and you guys, 10 years ago, he had a dream, and you guys just happened to be living this dream with him. And here he is. You ready?
Yes, say that.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, you guys. Every single person right now, please do me a huge favor. Real quick, you need to know this. Before this call began, I was running a little bit late, and I got here in time, but I'm in the bathroom. Kimmy's in the bathroom, and she looks at me and she says, "I am scared to death." And I'm like, "Why?" I go, "It's just the Yoli family. It's the Yoli Nation." And she's like, I go, "Well, this is how we stretch. It's how we grow." And she's like, "Okay, fine." So do me a favor. Would you guys right now down below, write in the comments any special message right now you want to Kimmy, and so that she can read it later, because I'm here to tell you that this woman right now is pushing herself harder than I've ever seen and we're coming up on what, 26 years of marriage? Yeah. And so in like 26 years, I've never seen this amazing woman push herself. And you know, it's interesting. I had asked her, and I was listening to her share with someone recently. She said, you know, I love my husband, and it's great seeing him have purpose and drive. But she says, you know, I'm a human being too. I have to have purpose. I have to drive. And I realized that, shoot, almost 80% of the Yoli reps, the Yoli members, are women. I need to stand up for them. That's what she said. She says, wait a minute, I do have purpose. And she's a natural, by the way, isn't she? I mean, yeah, she is.
I'm working.
No.
I'm working.
Hey, if everyone believes Kimmy's real, just comment below. Kimmy, she's the most real, most authentic person on the planet. When you see her, Everything you see is coming right from here. It's coming right from her heart. So everyone, please give her a big round of applause. Do and comment like crazy so she can go back and read all this. So you're the best. I love you.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
Thank you.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Oh, that's all right. So I get the great pleasure to wrap up this call. But first, before I even get into those details, do me a big favor and just give it up for all the awesome speakers that we have had here today. I mean, how amazing. I mean, you can just tell. I mean, Corey Citron, Darren Falter, Bobby Jones. I mean, and then my wife, this most amazing woman, Kimberly Fender, these founders, they just love people. And it's so evident of all that love that they have for each and every one of you. And at the end of the day, you know, we're all in the human being business, right? And I think we're living in a world today here in the, as I said, remember the roaring 20s, but you know, 2020 comes along. I think we are connected to people who are authentic and people who are real. And I'm really proud of what we have done over the last 10 years. And when I say we, I'm talking to each and every one of you, what we've done, you know, all of the lives that we have transformed, all the people we have blessed on a physical, on an emotional, and on a financial level. And, you know, as a company grows, you go through a lot of different phases. You know, I remember one of my mentors telling me, hey, Robbie, who you need to be and the people who are around you when you start your company, who those individuals are and who you need to be to get to the first million will be completely different than who you need to be and the people around you as you go to 10 million. And then as you go to 50 million, and it continues. And all of us, you know, my mentor, Jim Rohn, always said, for things to change, you have to change. For things to get better, you have to become better. So as I evolve and as I grow, I try to practice what I preach. I'm really big on my morning routines. I'm really big on constantly learning and growing. In fact, a good buddy of mine turned me on to, I don't know if you've heard of it, it's called Blinkist, but it's just a great way to absorb books and to get through them quite quickly and to continue to grow and expand. And, you know, some of the things that that I've realized is happiness, joy, peace, fulfillment really truly does come from growth and contribution. And that's what I want. You know, I think when I look back 10 years ago and why we did this, it was simply to make a difference. And I think all of us deep down, you know, I think we all want to make a difference and have an impact on this planet. And so it begun. And, you know, I'm sure right now in those early stages, you know, you're a baby, meaning you don't even know how to walk yet. And that was totally true for us. When I look at what we went through, and Darren and Corey and Bobby and Kimmy and some people that aren't even here anymore, what we had to go through those first few years, you know, it was crazy. In fact, I remember we had, I don't know, in those first couple of years, I think and I don't remember the exact number. It was 27, 28 of our diamonds, but you know, shoot, I think 25 of them left, you know, and 2 of them stuck around and they believed in us. But we never quit. We had a vision. We had a target. We wanted to impact this world. We wanted to make a difference. And sure enough, we did it. And, you know, and that's really my message to each and every one of you. I know it's interesting. January is the time of year, and I think we do it through habit, but it's the time of the year where we really reflect and we ask ourselves some serious questions and we start to set goals. And those goals can be, I want to lose this much weight, or I'm looking to improve my health, or I want to make this much money. And they're great. But here's the difference between the dream and the goal. And I've really learned a lot. You know, I've learned this really more last year than any time in my life. And that was, what separates the people who actually obtain the goal and the people that it just remains a dream? Well, for all of you who are the BMBB grads, by the way, comment below if you're a BMBB grad, like I did my Better Mind, Better Body. What did we learn? Well, we learned that it all starts with inception. And that's what we're all going through right now. We're excited about the new year. We're excited about what we're going to be able to do with Yoli. We're excited about what we're going to do in our lives. At the same time, what follows inception? If you remember, you can comment below, right? Deception. Yes, that's where our unconscious mind comes in and says, that's not you. You don't do that. And that's what takes a lot of people away and takes them off track, and then they don't hit that goal. And that's probably the big thing I want to share with each and every one of you. Have you ever had a time in your life where you said, I'm going to get that, I'm doing it? And people ask you, well, how are you going to do it? And your response is, I don't know. I'm going to find a way, but it's going to happen. And guess what? It ended up happening. Well, what was it? What was that? I mean, help me. What was that? Was it confidence? Was it conviction? Was it, I'll tell you what I really think it is. I think on an unconscious level, you made a decision and unconsciously said, it's going to happen no matter what, and I will just find the way. So that's really what it comes down to. I realized that you unconsciously, your identity, it has to match, it has to be in alignment with that dream. It has to be in alignment with that goal, right? It's got to match what you consciously want. You know, if I said right now, oh, I'm going to be an NBA player, well, it'd be kind of silly, because unconsciously and my identity, there's no way my identity is thinking I'm ever going to be an NBA player. And so that's where I realize, and this is what I love about where we're going. And if you're, you know, and I've shared this, I'm going to share it again. Yoli is going on to $500 million in annual sales. Now, why do I share that? And why do I even point that out? Because I realize, and you know, you can look this up, it's in scriptures and you'll see it. Without vision, the people will perish. You must have a vision. The target, or the amount of 500 million, what does that really represent? Well, really what it represents is a 5x, 10x in the amount of lives that we're going to impact, the physical and the financial. And let's touch on both of those real quick. Why not, right? What is it? What does a person really have to do if they want to have a permanent physical change, right? They want to change their body and they want to lose some weight, but then they want to stay there for the rest of their lives. And how about financial? Let's talk about that one too, because I think so many of us could use the financial to bless more people and more lives. What does that take? Again, it really comes down to the middle one. It's emotional. It's emotion. Emotion drives the world. We make our buying decisions on emotion. You know, we love others because of emotion. We get angry because of emotion. Emotion, we're an emotional creature. That's what drives us. Well, if that's true, which it is, how do we take control of that emotion? And that's why I'm so excited about what we've been able to do with Truths and Visions, and why we have the most amazing people who are now on our corporate team. You know, having Rod Harrison as our president, one of the most, I've never met a person with such a high emotional IQ. I talk to Rod all the time, and I'm like, bro, one thing that blew me away is when we talk and we have conversation, you see me for who I really am. You see beyond my face, beyond the words, you see me. And I love that about him. And that's kind of my goal. I think we all tend to look at other people through our own perception. And that's a big mistake, because they could be at a different place in their life and a different time in their life. We need to really have more empathy, more sympathy, relate with other people, and try to view life through their eyes. And that's when I realized, wow, I understand that, like, and again, back to this emotional piece, back to why I'm so giddy and so excited about what we put together. The Better Mind, Better Body program, this 60-day program, what I love about it more than anything, and I'm so grateful for Kimmy for really talking from the heart and sharing it, and what I've personally witnessed, what it's done for her and myself and so many people, is if we get this in alignment and we get this identity matching the things that we want to accomplish and do, then it'll happen. And it really comes down to that decision, understanding that we have the power right here to accomplish anything and everything. It's just the truth. It's so funny. Rod had mentioned to me, and he's totally accurate. And we were both talking about this, that people are not, including myself, we're not even touching our capability, what we're capable of doing. Science has proven it as well. And so I believe why God put us on this planet, and that was to grow, to evolve, to go to a different level of consciousness. And that's what I'm doing as well. I know for Yoli to grow, I have to grow. For Yoli to improve, I have to improve, and I have to change, and I have to move forward. And so real quick, a couple things I want to do. And again, so just to close that up, I just want you to know that if you work harder on you right here than anybody else on mentally and going through the Better Mind, Better Body, going through the Amplify and doing it again and growing, if you grow, everything else will grow. If you get better, everything else will get better. And boy, have I watched that happen with Kimberly Fender. She's unbelievable. It's awesome. And sometimes that growth, like she'll like talk to me. I'll be like, hey babe, can we go out? She's like, no, I need to do this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm like, well, I love that she wants to grow. And then and sometimes I have to sit back and like, all right, she's doing it. And it's so cute. It's just so you know why she's doing it. I go, babe, I thought we're she's like, no, I got to get this done. And you know what she does it? She does it for herself first and foremost, but she does it so that she can give back to you. She wants to grow and get better so that she can share with others how to grow and get better. And I just love that. So real quick, where again, please, if you really want a physical and a financial change, do everything in your power and understand how powerful these platforms, what we're bringing to the table. I've never seen this done in network marketing. I've never seen it done in our field. And I like to read biographies on some of the greats in the world. One thing I've noticed is almost all of the multi-billion-dollar companies, there was a niche, right? Even when you study Rockefeller, he pulled off a great deal with the Vanderbilts on getting the oil transported, and he was able to undercut the market, and it helped him build this amazing monopoly. And it goes, you can talk about Starbucks, but they all had a niche. So people ask me all the time, and if you were to ask me, well, what's the niche of Yoli? What makes us unique? What are we doing that's not being done anywhere else in the profession? I'll tell you what we're doing. We're taking self-development to the next level, because everyone will tell you, and you've heard it many times, Corey Citron's known for this statement, and that is network marketing is nothing more than a self-development business with a compensation plan attached to it. Now, obviously, there's many more parts and pieces, but what he's saying there is everything I just talked about. And that is, if you take care of this and work on this, then everything else becomes possible. Now, unfortunately, most of my career, and I'm sure Bobby, Darren, Kimmy, Corey would all back me on this, is we go to events and we hear from an amazing self-development individual, and it's great content. Yet then you go to another and you hear another person talk, whether it's Les Brown, Darren Hardy, Tony Robbins. It's all good stuff, but quite frankly, it's kind of also all over the place, and it's kind of hitting you with a fire hose. Now, over time, you end up, if you stick with it long enough, you can become what I would say unconsciously competent, which is a good thing, but it really isn't systematic. So what I love about what we're doing is we're saying, wait a minute, if we really are in the human being business, well, then let's start there. Let's start with the emotional piece. What do we need to do on an emotional level to make sure that all of our customers get this amazing physical transformation? What do we need to do on a financial level, emotionally, to give them that financial transformation? And let's not only ask that question, but let's now lay it out in a 60-day plan or a 30-day plan so that you can go through step by step. Because the truth is, you're going to come to a call like this, or you're going to go to a live event. We have a whole bunch of Build to Become events. You're going to get excited. It'll wake you up. But just remember, you still have to always grow up. You got to make the decision to grow up. And that means you got to make that decision to take some action and say to yourself, I'm going to do this. And then you got to put the time aside, and then you got to do it. And then you got to take yourself to that next level. And that's what we're doing. And we're doing it in a way that I've never seen done before, ever. And I'm really excited about that. It's changed me, and I'm growing. And I want to real quick, just a couple things. I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to all of the leaders out there who have embraced this, who have went out there and have started to love on others and and literally just take action and start sharing the Better Mind, Better Body, sharing Amplify, sharing the Yoli product, sharing the transformation kits. I just want to thank each and every one of you. And at the same time, I I owe a lot of people an apology, and because I don't think I did I think I could have done a better job at this, and that is I could have done a much better job of explaining that what Yoli's going through, this phase we're doing is normal. What do I mean by normal? Well, if you take the time to study Google or study Apple or study a lot of these companies, Airbnb, you know, a lot of people see who they are now and they see this overnight success, even Amazon. But what if they really take the time and study them? I mean, here's a big one. Go study Tesla. You will find that they all had to go through phases. They had to go through a phase of what I call the baby phase, where they had to learn how to just simply walk. And they had to go through then they have some success. And then you got to go through the teenage phase, which is exactly what Yoli's going through, by the way, where we're a whole bunch of awesome teenagers. You know, we there's a part of us that thinks we know it all. We got this, we do it. And then we slam into a wall and we're like, well, maybe we didn't have it all. And that's normal. And you got to grow through that. And you got to go through that next level so you can grow up. And then we got to take that next phase, which 2020. And the one thing I've heard Corey say and Bobby say and Darren say and Kimmy say is we all have to make that decision ourselves, each and every one of us, to simply grow and to simply build our businesses. And I can promise you something. Every one of you, if you make the commitment and make that decision for yourself, by the way, always do it for you first, but make that decision that you're going to grow your business and that you're going to go out there and do things that you've never done in the past. Here's what I'm going to promise each and every one of you. You're going to experience more fulfillment. You're going to experience more happiness, more joy than you ever have, because here's what I believe. God put us on this planet to grow. When we grow, we're happy. When we grow, we're fulfilled. And you want to know what I really believe is when you help, love, and serve other people, that's when you'll experience the most fulfillment. Every one of us right now, whether we choose to or not, we are either going to grow or we're going to die. If you say, oh, I'm just sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what happens, well, I would argue that you're going to die. And I would also state this. There's people out there, when the new iPhone comes out, there's some people that say, oh, I'm buying that iPhone right now. There's other people that say, oh, I'm going to wait because I just know they're going to come out with another iPhone that's even going to be better. So you wait a year. And then the next one comes out. See, I told you. And then there's some people that say, well, I'm going to wait again. And they wait 2 years. And then they wait 3 years. And then they finally go out and buy it. And you want to know what the first thing they say? They say, why did I wait 3 years? That was the dumbest thing I could have ever done. So don't be that person. Yoli's going to $500 million in annual sales, meaning you have the opportunity. There's going to be 5 to 10x the amount of rank advancements, 5 to 10x the amount of people making more money, making people having more physical transformations, emotional transformations. Don't be that guy. Don't be the person that sits and waits. I promise you, our body, the human being, we weren't designed to sit on the sidelines. That's not how we're wired. We are wired to engage, to grow, to love, to help other people. So that's my message to each and every one of you. I am crazy excited. Do me a favor, just comment below thanking, please help me thank Corey Citron, thank Bobby Jones, Darren Falter, Kimberly Fender. Do you realize these guys for the past decade have poured their heart and soul into the Yoli Nation? They love you beyond anything you could ever imagine. And all they want is to see each and every one of you grow physically, grow emotionally, grow financially. I love each and every one of you. I cannot wait to see you at these next upcoming events, the Build to Become, but just simply make that decision and get through deception, get to the other side and make it a permanent transformation. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. Enjoy the wonderful evening. Thank you for your time. God bless each and every one of you. Bye, everybody. Here we go. 2020. Thumbs up.